Namaste. Today I will be doing the coloring food tag, or is it coloring foodie tag? One of the two. I was tagged by Ever, and I have the 16 questions here with me. And while I am answering those, I am going to try and attempt to finish this mandala. I had started this one because I wanted to check all the Sakura jelly roll pens that I had ordered. So I left it somewhere halfway, and as you can see, there is actually no plan for any of the color combinations or anything. I just want to try out all the pens that were there in that package. That was the idea when I started out, but I think I have already used too many colors. So let's see how it goes. I hope that it comes out to be a little better than it is looking right now. So let us start. The first question is, if you had to only have one and give up the other two forever, which one would you choose? And the options are rice, bread, or noodle. So if I had to give up two, I would say I can give up bread and noodles. And the reasoning behind that is that I am an Indian and we love, or rather, I'm a South Indian and we love our uh, rice. We cannot imagine food without rice. Our breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks, everything has rice in it. So for me, rice would be next to impossible to give up. And bread and noodles are just an acquired part in our cuisine. So yeah, I can give up noodles and I can give up bread. As you can see, I forgot what color I was using, so I'm just overwriting it with the color which I think will go well over here. Okay, the next question is, ditch one meat forever. What is it and why? um, I don't eat meat anyways, so forget ditching one meat, and I have ditched all meats. And why? I feel that meat farming is putting a lot of pressure on the normal food farming, because meat is more expensive. Farmers have actually given up a lot of their land to grow animal feed rather than actually farming for things which humans consume directly in terms of grains or vegetables or other crops. So uh, I think for sustainability, being a vegetarian is my contribution uh, towards sustainability. And if I have the choice, if I have vegetables which I can consume, then I prefer vegetarian food. However, if I'm going to die of hunger, I'll probably eat meat. But as far as this question goes, ditch one meat forever, I have already ditched all types of meat, so I don't consume meat at all right now. The third is best type of soup, uh, and it was a question, so it was, I'm guessing it means what is the best type of soup as per me. Well, I like creamy soups a lot. So for me, I'll say that I like soups which have a creamy consistency and which have cream base to it. So for example, my favorite in the soup category would be maybe cream of mushroom, or maybe a broccoli and cheese. I would love to have a soup which has a creamy base. So that's my go-to choice whenever I have to settle for a soup. The next is worst thing in practice to put in bread, and worst thing to put in bread in theory. So I don't really eat a lot of different kinds of bread, so I'm not really sure what is out there. I just eat the normal whole wheat or brown bread, or maybe whole grain, the ones which you would normally get in a store. uh, so for me, I think there is, I remember from Ever's video itself that there is a onion bread out there. I cannot imagine onion bread. So yeah, if there is a bread out there like that which is onion bread, I'm not sure that I would like to taste it. And in theory, what would be the worst thing? I think in theory the worst thing would be maybe octopus. I cannot imagine a bread which has octopus in it. I'm not sure if it exists, but if it exists, I'm sorry, but I'm thinking it's not existing. That's why I'm saying in theory, octopus bread would be horrible as per me. Fifth is a new food appears out of the blue and it's magic. What does it taste like and what does it do? If it's magic, in our culture we have a drink which is called amrut, and it's uh, considered the drink of gods, so to say, and it's supposed to be sweet and golden liquid. uh, yeah, I guess if I imagine a magical uh, food, I will think that it is the amrit. And what the what does it taste like? So I have heard that amrit is supposed to be very similar to nectar in taste, uh, and it is a golden liquid. This is what I have read in the mythological books of India. And what does it do? So I will say, from what I know, it is expected to be a elixir. I think that's how it is pronounced, elixir. So it's a potion of immortality basically. So if yes, in reality there is a magical food that can appear from anywhere, I will expect it to be a liquid form, and I will expect it to be a elixir. So yeah, let's see if somebody invents elixir in the near future. Then worst fictional food of all time. I don't really pay that much attention to food in movies, and I'm not a very big sci-fi fan, frankly. After the original series of Star Trek, I have never really dwelled a lot into sci-fi uh, movies or series or whatever. So I think if we have to talk about fictional food, I think most of the time in such movies only you will see something which is different or really out of this world. But I do remember that the food that Star Trek explorers would eat when they go to other galaxies, I think that is really, like, I don't know if I will be able to consume stuff which is not from planet Earth. Somehow I have to get my mind around that. So for me, the worst fictional food of all time would be the dishes that the Star Trek, Voyager people ate when they went into space. I would say those were the worst food, fictional foods of all time. Then sweet, spicy, or savory, which could you never give up? Frankly, I have a sweet tooth. Okay, I love sweets, and especially Indian sweets. I also love muffins. I love pastries, cakes, you name it. There are very few sweets that I don't like. Like, I don't like the ones which are like extremely sweet and just they go to your brain the moment you put them in your mouth. I don't like those kind of sweets. I really like flavored sweets. They should have some, not just sugar, it should have some taste other than just sugar. So that's why I love pastries, muffins, cakes, and a lot of Indian sweets. which have more of a milky taste rather than just sugar. I love those kind of sweets. Um, but I don't think if I have to select sweet, spicy, or savory forever, I don't think sweet is a good option. I'm sure I can get fed up of it if I have to eat that every day. Then the spicy, I love spicy food. I'm Indian, for God's sake, right? But I don't think it will be a good idea if I have to eat only spicy food for the rest of my life. And hence I will, I think, choose savory. I think savory is something which I cannot give up, because I think you have more options in savory food, and more versatile in terms of what savory can mean. So I think I will say what I can never give up is savory food. What culture has your favorite pancakes? So that's the next question. I will say my own culture, that is the Indian culture, has the best pancakes. So I'm not sure a lot of people out there might even know, uh, but we have something called dosa in India, which is made from rice and lentils dough, which is fermented overnight usually. But there are so many varieties of dosa, and you can make them from different combinations of grains and pulses and lentils, and you can make them in different forms. You can make them crisp, you can make them soft, you can make them large, you can make them small, with filling, without filling. So yeah, it's a whole new ball game when you venture into the world of dosas. So for me, I think Indians uh, have the best pancakes, and if you have never tried a dosa, I highly recommend you should do that. These pens are not that good. I'm not, look how bad. Maybe it's the paper. This is Amazon paper, so I'm not sure. So I was doing this mandala just to try out all the pens, and believe me, I'm like not very satisfied with the way this is laying down. Anyways, coming back to the next question. I'm now on the ninth question. Best and the worst things to put in a pot of chili. Okay, so I'm Indian, and if I'm not wrong, chili is a Mexican dish, and maybe it's popular in America. It's not very popular where I come from. Never was. Uh, uh, Either in India or in Dubai, or maybe it is in Spain, but at least I have not seen a lot of people eating chili over here. However, I do think that in India we have a dish which is very similar to what is called chili, and I think it's called rajma. It's a dish made from red kidney beans, and I have a feeling, because of what I have seen in pop culture, in movies, what I have seen of chili, I think it's very similar to that. And if it is indeed similar to that, then I think the best thing that you could put in a pot of chili would be tomatoes, uh, or onion. I'm not sure at all what goes in a real chili, so I'm very sorry. But if it is, as per my guess, very similar to a rajma dish that we make in India, then yes, either tomatoes or onion would be the best things you could add to give flavor to a pot of chili. What would be the worst thing? I think chocolate. I cannot imagine a pot of rajma with chocolate in it, and I'm assuming, since it's chili is also a similar dish, then I think it will taste horrible if you put chocolate in it. So I'll say the worst thing you can put in a pot of chili is chocolate. Then the 10th question is favorite sweet spice and favorite savory spice. Okay, so my favorite sweet spice is cardamom. I am actually addicted to cardamom, and I always have cardamom around me. I keep on popping them like people keep on popping mint. uh, I keep on chewing on it whole day. I need it whenever I need to think. So if I need something to think, then I think it falls in the category of addiction, right? So I am addicted to cardamom, and it's one of my most favorite sweet spices of all times. And my favorite savory spice, I will say, is black pepper. I think freshly crushed black pepper really gives a different dimension to any food that you can think of. Be it just eggs, or a salad, like things which generally you would consider don't have taste in themselves. You just add a sprinkling of freshly ground black pepper, and you really get a very beautiful flavor out of it. So for me, my favorite savory spice, I would say, would be black pepper. We do also use ground black pepper in quite a few snacks that we make, fried snacks in India. So I think it gives it a nice hot punch, and I like the taste of freshly ground black pepper. The next question is favorite type of decay. I was not really sure what this question means by decay, but the examples they have given is mushrooms, yogurt, yeast, alcohol, etc. So I'm basically thinking that they mean something which you need to ferment to consume. Uh, and if that is the case, then my favorite would be curd, or a byproduct of the curd, which is buttermilk. So in India we usually make what you all call yogurt, but we make, I think it's similar or same, I'm not sure, but we call it curd. And we basically make it at home. We curdle the milk, and the byproduct of that is the curd. And when we churn the curd, we get butter out of it, and the remaining liquid is like a diluted version of a curd is buttermilk, and it's one of my favorite soothing drinks on a hot summer day. I love to have buttermilk with some seasoning of salt, asafoetida, green chilies, and garnish it with fresh cilantro, and I just love that drink. So for me, I would say curd and buttermilk are my favorite from the decay uh, type of foods. Then the 12th question is, what's a type of pickled food you would like to try? Uh, in India, we have a lot of variety of pickles. Okay, and it's in India, pickle doesn't mean the same thing what it means in the rest of the world. Let me tell you. We are the spice people. We like to spice everything, and that includes our pickles. Indian pickles are quite spicy most of the times, but we love to pickle a lot of things like raw mango is our favorite thing to pickle. It's very, very common for all households to have some sort of a pickle in their house at all times, and it's an accompaniment, it's sort of a condiment that is served with all meals, uh, the lunch and dinner meals. Uh, you can also pickle carrot, mm, or some other vegetables also. Garlic is also another, green chilies is also another thing which you can pickle. But if I have to try something which I have never tried, I think I would be curious to see how 100-year-old egg tastes. What is also called as a century egg. These pens, I'm really hating them. Look how they're laying out. I'm not sure if it's this paper, but mm, it's really irking me to even color. Yeah, the shade is good, but I think it's not suitable for this paper at least. Okay, anyways, coming back to the pickled food that I would love to taste or I would like to try, I'm very curious to know how a century egg will taste like. So it's basically, if I'm not wrong, a preserved egg, and it changes the texture as well as the color. So it looks like black or a dark gray, and it turns into a very different type of texture. So I have seen on YouTube a lot of people trying it, and I have heard different verdicts on it, but I'm curious. I'm not sure I will be able to eat a whole century egg, but I think I can take a small bite just to satisfy my curiosity on what it must be tasting like. I have heard so many descriptions, and I have in my mind, uh, I don't know, uh, what would you say? It's like in my mind, I think I know how it will taste, but I would love to see if what I have imagined it to taste like is exactly what it really tastes like. So, yeah. Mm, so if I have to, what is the type of pickled food I would like to try? I would say I would like to try a century egg, or what you call as 100-year egg. Okay. The next question is, what's the best corn-based food? I like corn-based food just generally also. I think any snack which is made from corn base um, is very tasty. I like corn in itself also. I love a corn on cob with a little butter or roasted cob. In India, during the monsoons, we get a lot of corn as street food, and we roast them over charcoal and we sprinkle them. As usual, we have to be spicy about everything. We sprinkle them with chili powder, salt, and a squeeze of lemon on top, and believe me, it is so tasty. Um, and I just generally love almost everything that can be made out of corn. But I will go back to my roots. And in India, we do make bread, flat bread out of corn, and it's usually a winter food, and it's called makai ki roti. Literally translated, it means flat bread made from corn. Literally. Okay, and the best accompaniment for this is sarson ka saag. So it's a very famous combination in India, you can say, to eat makai ki roti de sarson ka saag. And sarson ka saag is basically a curry made from mustard leaves. So I love uh, the corn flatbread that is made in India, and it specially tastes very good with very spicy curries. Uh, then the next one is question number 14. What underrated food do you love, and what popular food doesn't taste good to you? So two-part question, right? So what underrated food do you love? I think there are a lot of fruits which we get in India are quite underrated. I think people have not yet explored them enough. They are not popular enough. They don't have the name in the world that they deserve. And to name a few, I will say, for example, I love jackfruit. I really, what did I do? I really love jackfruit, okay? And I have not seen jackfruit really being that popular outside of India. I think maybe in Thailand and Malaysia to some extent, but even there, I think durian is like more in the news, uh, or where people want to try it or taste it. I think jackfruit does not get its due reputation. It's very nice. I love the texture of the fruit. I love the aroma of the fruit. I love the taste of the fruit. I really love it. I think it's quite underrated, and it needs to get more popularity across the world. The problem is that I think the fruit, once it is peeled, doesn't have a long shelf life, and unless you actually travel to a country where jackfruit grows. I am not sure how people across the world can taste it. So that's the sad part. Um, but it is so versatile. When it is raw, we actually make curries also out of it, and when it is ripe, it is so sweet and very nice to eat. I think also there is another food which we call fruit, which we call chiku. I think in English it's called sapodilla. I am not sure if you are aware. Again, I think the fruit doesn't get its due in the world in terms of the reputation that it should have. It is so naturally sweet, and it has very high iron content, and it's so good. It's so healthy to eat that fruit, but I think it is quite underrated in terms of popularity. I would also like to add to that custard apple. Custard apple is also, I think, not as popular as it should be. It's a seasonal fruit, and I really usually just love to wait for it to be in season. And if I'm in India when it is in season, I consume so much of custard apple. I really love it, and I love it in everything. I love custard apple milkshakes, custard apple ice cream, and the fruit in its true form also. I think especially these three fruits, I think are quite underrated, and they need to gain more popularity. They deserve it. And to the second part of the question, what popular food doesn't taste good to you? I can imagine people gasping at my next answer, but I don't like chocolate. I don't think it tastes good, and I have tried everything. Okay, I have tried milk chocolate, dark chocolate, chocolate with nuts, you name it. I have tried because it's so popular. I want to know what I'm missing, but I just can't get my brain around the taste of chocolate. I just don't like it. I avoid anything that has chocolate flavor. I don't like ice creams that are chocolate flavor. I don't like cakes that are chocolate flavor. And I have such a difficult time because of this, because normally it's a very commonly accepted flavor across the world, and whenever, like in office events or surprise parties or something like that, usually people think it's a very safe bet to go for a chocolate cake or chocolate pastry or chocolate ice cream. And I detest chocolate totally. I hate it literally. If I can avoid even the smell of chocolate, I don't like it at all. And I don't know why, but yeah, it's like I just can't stand chocolate at all. Then the next one is question number 15, then it's almost the second last one, so I don't think I'll be finishing this mandala in this one. I will just finish probably these two rings only. So then the second last question, question number 15, is what food combination would you have to be paid to try? Oh, lot of things. I'm a very fussy eater, very fussy eater. So there are a lot of things in this world that I don't like, I don't eat, and it would be very difficult to convince me because I'm not a very money minded person. So there are very few things in this world that money can make me do. And if I don't like to do it, I'll probably not do it. But if I have to choose something for the purpose of answering this question, then maybe it will be something very slimy or something like that, because I just cannot imagine people eating with relish a lot of things like squid or octopus or uh, snails, mm, or insects for that matter. And I know that these are some of the most popular exotic um, food in some parts of the world. And maybe if I grew up in a different part of the world, maybe my palate would have been different. But sadly, for me, I don't find them very inviting. I don't even feel curiosity to know how they taste like. So yeah, somebody would have to give me a whole lot of money if I have to even try one of these things. So yeah, I think the list would be too long for me to name. But anything which is, very different and rare, like insects and slimy things, like I cannot imagine trying them on. So yeah, you'll have to pay me a lot of money to try that. And the last question is, what dish from your culture is your favorite? There are too many actually to name, quite a few. Like just one dish to name is would be very difficult. But I will, let's say if I have to choose from snacks, right? Then my favorite is samosa, vada pav, and pav bhaji. I love these snacks. These are mostly street food, and in India they are very popular. And we have shops selling these things like at every corner. So, from the snack category, I'll say samosa, vada pav, and pav bhaji are my favorite. Then from like breakfast or homemade snacks category, my favorite is uh, rava dosa and appe. These are very specific to south of India basically, but I just love them. In the sweets category, I'll say I love laddus, especially the ones which are made from besan and bundi. They are chickpea flour based laddus. I love them. And there is a Bengali sweet which I really love is cham cham. I'll just love the texture and the taste of that one. And in terms of a whole dish, I'll say it is a dish which is a combination of multiple of dishes, and that is a thali. And if you know what a thali is, you will know what I mean by that, that it's a combination of a lot of dishes, because a thali has everything from rice and flatbread to uh, dry curry to a gravy curry, yogurt paste, condiment or side dish, pickles, a sweet dish, everything. A little bit of everything will be there on that plate. And for me, a thali is like the ultimate in luxury. For me, nowadays it's a luxury, but in India, a good meal is a thali. So yeah, that would be the answer to the last question. So what dish from your culture is your favorite? And all these are my favorite. Samosa, vada pav, pav bhaji, rava dosa, appe, besan and bundi laddu, cham cham, and thali. So thanks for having stopped by. I'm going to tag Amanda in this one, and I hope she feels interested enough to participate and tag some more people in her video so that we can carry on this tag. It's a very interesting tag, and I would really love to hear answers from others. If you have not yet subscribed, then please do so. And I apologize in advance for my rambling answers. I tend to go on and on usually. I like to describe everything in a lot great detail. But have a nice day and bye.